There we go. I hope you guys enjoy those little episodes. I enjoy it. I think it adds a little bit something different. We get to learn a little bit something new here and there. Hope you guys like that, and I could do it more often, actually. Could be quite fun to do it, like, regarding the subject that we... Well, the actual setting, the time period. That could be quite fun. Keep it on topic. Make it informative, educational. Okay. So, we do see... We've broken through here, which is good. Now, if we take a look at this, we do see the airfield to the south. We have moved in such a way. We are supported, which is good. We do have our flanks held. I could potentially position another division down here to make sure this is firmly held. But I think in fairness, we're okay. We do have a division over here. Divisions over here. We do have the core headquarters insulated from the enemy positions, which is, well, enemy forces, which is good. We did secure the city of Vitebsk. We did secure the land bridge over here. And we're outside some lands, which is looking excellent. So from that point, I suppose it's not too bad actually, because we would either... actually, what do they have there? They're fortified. God damn, that's a strong level of defense there, 40. That's going to be tough. And the issue is, well, actually no, I suppose it's not that bad of an issue. We do have control of the entire rail line along this length, which is useful. Obviously, we'll work to go ahead and get the rails moved up there. We're going to be in a position here where we are going to be outside, quite far outside the range of the rails. But it's not too bad. Even if we make incremental progress, that's still not too bad. We've dived deep and we've arrived. Yeah, we're actually more or less parallel here, which is not too bad. It has essentially made this position untenable for them. They do have to worry about the Panzer arms turning this way and obviously to the north, south and north. And towards BLeAcHACiD. BLeAcHACiD, haven't pronounced that. That's not too bad. We could probably deal with that. It would be great if I could have a force move this way. But I don't have that sadly. So what I'm going to do then is have the actual security regiments march north. Right, I do have the rails here, so I'm going to have them properly protected. Can't afford to have that unit hit. Partisans could pop up and they could cause problems. Right, not much in the way of progress, but hey, it's progress nonetheless. So if I take a look then, so we have you here. And you're the edge of your... Yep, you're your limit. Make sure you're covered by a regiment. Yeah, so we are making progress. We are closing in now. But you can see just how far away the rail lines are. They're quite some distance. And even these rail lines over here are still some distance away. We'd obviously want to secure this rail line to go around here. But having the rail lines closer is... It's always a problem. It's always hard. And yeah, we're outside it here. So it's going to cost us, but we still have two panzer groups over here, so they do have a lot of logistical elements within them. So ideally that gives us enough to continue to push, perhaps. If I could capture Smolensk, we could at least capture some of that fuel and supply there. It's not so much the supply, it's more so the fuel that I need, really. We could alternatively have supply and fuel, but fuel being the main one here, flown in by Junker 52/3M, I believe it is. Which is not a bad consideration. I do need to actually have the airfields moved up. But in fairness, we're doing pretty good there. We do have a proper wedge. We have a proper wedge here. So that is pretty deep. Maybe we could have done better, but I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's bad. Okay. Go ahead and save it here too. Right, we'll turn to the south then. South always tends to be more complicated because it's a very large front. There's a lot you often have to deal with, really. Right, okay. I do have second army, but I need to have assigned. I think that I assigned to army group center, which they are. Okay. Now, I think it's worthwhile to have them march. I could have had them move via rail, but I might as well just get them marching. Oh, actually, do I want to move them via rail? I'm not too sure if there's any disadvantage of doing that. I'll have them march for the time being, I guess. Yeah, we'll go with that. So we have 2nd Army headquarters over here. We'll have that base in Warsaw for the time being. Have an airfield over here. And have said core out here too. Yeah, second army is not much of an army, really. But I will have divisions. Yes, we've got divisions over here that have arrived. So I'll have them assigned over here to second army then. Well, actually, no, I could have 2 there at most, because we've got 3, is it 4? We've got 4 divisions there already. Let's see, what is 16th looking like? So 16th could handle 3 more divisions. Do I want to give more divisions to Army Group North? Do I want more divisions down here in Army Group South? I reckon more divisions down here, but then again, it's one of these, isn't it? Where will the war be won? Well, if we can take Leningrad and Moscow, that gives us a real solid position there. Leningrad surely helps us a lot, because obviously it gives us the ability for supply there. Are there any core headquarters in the reinforcement schedule you can use to add to the second? I believe there is. And in fairness, with reorganization, I could probably free up a couple cores. There's a lot of them that are not being fully utilized. Yeah, we have another 3 divisions here too, so that's, what, 6 divisions that have arrived here so far. Let's take a look. Yeah, I got a call next turn. Finish call. Do the Finns activate next turn? I always forget, is it turn 4 or turn 5? It's one of them. Right. I could have them potentially moved out towards Warsaw via the rail lines, and they could remain on rail lines. How far? Yeah, I know it's something around this time. I got that security division over here I forgot about. It can kind of stay there for the time being, I guess. I don't really need it elsewhere right now. Shift down. Is it shift down? Oh, I don't actually control Pskov, so that's fine. I don't need to worry about the garrisons. Oh, I do need to worry about that garrison, though. The army group south was only meant to guard the centre's flank originally, and that's why they are weak in panzers. That's really awesome, though. Thank you very much, Cold Steel, for that insightful comment. Hang on, what we'll do then is we'll do this. Sword. Okay. So yeah, I suppose this is it. The war must be won in the center and the north, really. If we can take Leningrad, then obviously we gain a huge amount of logistical support in the north there. Moscow's looking good so far. Obviously it's going to be a different situation when we get there, because we do rapidly slow down now. If we take a look, we are 10% fuel, 1% fuel. But there is fuel in the unit, which is good. Not a huge amount, but enough in the unit to make use of. These guys over here didn't have to go too fast. They still have some fuel. 3% fuel. Yeah, fuel's more or less dry. But at 0. 6, 1. 2 there. It was worthwhile, though. It's put us in a position where we actually are across at Smolensk. They may very well retreat from Smolensk, which would be intriguing. Okay. Yeah, rails are only going to be here. God. Whoops. Okay. That's looking good. We do have a solid amount of force here. Let's go ahead and save it then. Make sure we don't lose any of this hard-earned progress. Okay. Now these guys have been cut off then technically for 3 turns. They do, well, they'll be able to put on supply from Lvov, or Lvov, which makes it tough. These guys need to be destroyed, so we need to destroy them soon. Well, we'll start with them, I reckon. But at least I can actually properly cut this off and we can properly destroy them next turn. So, I mean, there's a good tank division in there, there's a good motorized division in there, there's a good infantry division in there. Well worthwhile destroying. Okay. Good news, I can actually make use of these cores remaining stationary. Right, we'll attack the 34th Tank, 27th Rifle Corps, and 140th Rifle Division. Right, they're forced back. The 27th Corps is routed there. Right, we'll still be able to... Well, I can't launch a hasty attack, but they're pretty weak then on the ground. We should benefit from support here, which we do. They retreat en route. Opens that up for us, which is nice. They would need the natural divisions there to support them. Right. The tank division surrenders, which is good for us. So 5 there. Oh, need shift C on. Right, there we are. Okay, I can make use of these divisions then. May as well have you out as a garrison. They're running out of room to play with as well, which is nice. Right, we'll go with hasty. Yep, that falls back. Would have been nice to see them surrender, but hey ho. Right, we'll hasty attack these. Oh, never mind. Damn it. I do have these divisions here then, so we should be fine now. Right. They don't have far to go now. Right, so that would only be a hasty. We'll try a hasty attack. Okay, yeah, they hold. Actually, deliberate should be enough, I'd imagine. Yeah, there we are. Oh wow, goddamn, what is there? That's crazy. Why are they holding out? They're just doing a really good job. Yeah, there we go. They finally do surrender though. There we are. Right, so not potentially the most efficient way to deal with them, but we got them in the end, and that's what we needed there. And that's a good chunk of their forces dealt with as well, which is nice. It means that we can actually move the tanks on without any issues, which is good. We are able to move on the rest of the infantry without much in the way of issues. We'll go ahead and we'll surround the enemy forces to the north, and we'll be good there. Okay. Yeah, how are we looking right now? So, we're looking at 252,000 men captured so far. The Soviets have lost 733,000 men so far, so 243,000 men lost this turn. 3,300 guns this turn. 1,131 AFVs so far. Not very large numbers for the Soviets, really. They're big numbers, but they have a lot of men. We're not doing bad. Honestly, we still have a lot of forces that can be reduced. I don't know if we have any other forces that are cut off. So we still have these forces that are cut off. I can try and reduce that pocket, but it might very well be that we'll leave behind a couple of corps or use the Hungarians and Romanians potentially to deal with these forces and maybe have the German forces push on, really. And take a look at that. What I'm going to do is find another section here to read, and then we will continue. And we'll finish off the stream not too far from the end here. 2 hours has gone pretty quick, actually, hasn't it? So, let's see. This part's quite cool. So this is the Panzer Brigade in 1944, and then reorganization after the Second World War, which is pretty intriguing. So the activation of 7th Panzer Brigade then was half-hearted attempt to form streamlined armoured manoeuvre formations. 13 were planned altogether. Certainly the intent of forming them was to create organic Panzerkampfgruppen. The main deficiency, however, was in the totally inadequate logistical elements. The result was that these formations were out of gas within a few days. They were insufficiently capable of sustaining themselves as separate formations. So there we go, there's the Panzer Brigade in 1944. And then we have the reorganization after the Second World War. The new Bundeswehr, how you want to pronounce that, Bundeswehr, it is true primarily created by the former Wehrmacht officers. However, wartime experience was not always adopted into a consistent fashion. Of course, many aspects appeared again in the training. After a good beginning in 1956, however, much too large and ponderous divisions in the US pattern began to be formed. Introduced again was the situation where the lowest command level that was capable of combat with the combined arms was at the level of the brigade, with similarly unwieldy Panzer or Panzergrenadier battalion. During the 1970s, there were several reorganizations, such as the formation of a 4th Panzergrenadier battalion in the brigade. Nevertheless, the brigade was increasingly deprived of its logistical independence, for that it was increasingly dependent upon the division or even the corps for the command and control of combined arms operations. The main reason for that, of course, was primarily the fact that the primary mission at the operational level given strategic framework at the time was the defense of the national borders that were very close at hand. The Panzergrenadier suffered a lot as a result. The unfortunate separation of the rifle squad from its armoured personnel carriers and its commitment to digging into the field fortifications were obligatory. Only the tanks were committed in mobile operations, but even they were often cooped up in the context of small battle positions in a stationary role. They assumed the role of mobile bunkers. The primary objective was not to defeat the enemy, but to hold onto terrain. Entire generations of officers matured in that erroneous thought pattern. After the decline of the direct east-west confrontation, it required significant efforts to bring the setting of operational objectives back to the Panzer-type basics. Then again, as in the 1920s and 1930s, the followers of the pure theory were confronted with the narrow-mindedness and provincialities of ignoramuses in operational theory. Nevertheless, in Germany today, as earlier, the tactical operational fundamentals for the commitment for Panzertruppen are used in a manner similar to the way they were crystallized during the Second World War. Even if it is obviously influenced by the present-day technological setting, the essential greater significance of combat support requirements, and the increased effectiveness of all weapons against armour. After this short historical overview, let's have a close look, and then we'll go into the actual book. But that's actually quite cool, isn't it? I like that. I thought it was pretty awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed that too. I think the pronunciation, I'm not particularly good at the German. Take a breath. Okay. Now we do have the ability to dive here. It's a tough question. Sometimes I do wonder if it's worthwhile actually deal with this as quickly as possible before moving on. But you do not have the luxury of such operations. You have to go deep. But going deep over here to the Ukraine is an interesting story. The main thing that we need to do here is actually make way for the rail lines. We need to take control of that. The Soviet forces do not actually appear to be that dense as of yet. We're seeing a density increasing over here of north, but not tremendously. But in fairness, our reconnaissance might not be particularly great. I mean, we're seeing density around Odessa over here to the north, but not that much. This seems to be more or less so. But then again, they're not fearing us here. Issues I do need to deal with these forces too. How you doing that pistol? Good to have you, my man. Yeah, well, let's see here, then. So we do have these to deal with. One, I mean, this is it. I'm using primarily the security forces over here, which is not exactly great. We do have these forces here, a couple of divisions, essentially core given over to this purpose. Are there any points that we wish to gain? That's a question. We could push on towards Kiev, but I'm not too particularly interested in Kiev. I think we need to push on as far as we can, as deep as we can. So towards Kharkov would be great, obviously, to try and deprive the Soviet Union of said M1941 production. Essentially try and remove the amount of models of, well, the amount of armor they have out there in the field, really. Could be quite good. How about you guys then? How do you feel about this? What do you think our objective should be here? Which way do we want to actually push towards? We do have our infantry here. I'm going to zoom out like this. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time to think about this. And this is it. We're still not done with the forces around Lvov. Or Lvov. We can push on towards Odessa with the few German forces down that way. I think we do want to drive on towards... Yeah, I think we want to drive on towards, of course, Kiev. I think Kiev is naturally cut off as we advance, really, which makes things easy for us. I think towards Kharkov is probably going to be the best way. Just trying to figure out how best to move these assets. Yeah, Kharkov. Yeah, I'm feeling towards Kharkov as well, really. Probably the best way to go. Onto the Volgograd. Indeed, indeed. Okay, well, we do have some panzer forces down here, which is helpful. What I need to do then is actually take a look at the rail lines. I think we'll start with the actual remaining forces down here to the south. Which should be easy. Marching over here, secure said territory. I do need to deal with these forces, but I'd like to go ahead and cut them off. Yeah, I say go back to Berlin. Just apologize and just say it was a big mistake in the end. Yeah, I do have these brigades here. If I can place them back and cause them a problem. Cross over here to Brat. At least then we actually have them ideally fixed in position by zone of control. Yeah, that's a good point there, Cold. I mean, there's obviously, I mean, how many rail lines do we have coming in here then? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Though they branch out even more there, really. That's a lot of rail lines. See, that's going to be the beauty of one of these two, is we can actually get a real value to these rail lines. Obviously, yeah, I mean, like, the rail lines to Kiev are east to west, not north to south, whereas with Kharkov it's east, west, north, south. So you can definitely see it's a vital hub there. Yeah, I think it is Kharkov, really. And Stalingrad is okay, but Stalingrad's just... It's great, but the reason why it's so great is because the fact is there's not much else out here in this area. If you can take that, you actually hold the area pretty well. We do see Saratov and Engels over here. And they are worthwhile taken. But fairness, if you're out there, you are doing pretty damn well. And you are pretty damn far out there. Right, we'll continue with the Romanians here. We do have these Romanian cavalry forces. I'm going to essentially use them to actually just garrison cities here, really. Not much else they're good for. Right, move there. That takes out, cuts these guys off, which is useful. I do have this to deal with, so I do need to push it off. I do have Romanians here. I don't know if the Romanians can do it, really. I do have the 72nd Infantry. Let's try that then. Yes, that does push them up, which is good. So I do see these NKVD? Yes, like an NKVD border regiment. Right, secure that. I could hasty attack there. Is it enough? Probably not. Better off just prepared attacking with the Romanians. So move across here, we can work on the rails. Just one hex there is not really much, but it's something, I guess. It's not great, frankly. Right, I do have these German forces. The issue with the Romanians is I can't break them up, and that does make them significantly harder to use there. Not too bad, though. So I do have the Romanian armoured unit over here. I want to actually get in there. So we have a number of armoured cars. They're not like the Russian armoured car. Wouldn't be too surprised if they were like an import. They look very similar. Is it the BA10? Is it BA10? It looks like a BA10. Is it BA10? It looks like one, I think. I think it might be BA10. Maybe different model. So we have the SD KFC 222. I know my friend Richard York really loves these guys. I say armoured. It's not really armoured, is it? I mean, yeah, okay, you got a couple like armoured cars in there. The BA-10 Warthog, yes. The Wart God. Yeah, there's not much in there. So I need that rail line there. So we do see that there is a fortified region here across the river. The Vodgorb. Yeah. Close enough, right? Yeah. The issue is we do have the... we have all this rough terrain over here, which makes it tough. It does reduce the amount of MP that we get there. We do have the rivers as well, which make it tough. The primary thing that we need here is the rail lines. So have you march there? Can't move it any further, can I? No, okay. Right, so that's not especially fantastic, but it's still good. I mean, the fact is it's 4 out this way rather than 4 out this way. I mean, even 4 here would not be as worthwhile as this is. The terrain isn't especially great, but it's not bad. But unfortunately, we have run out of time here tonight. And we will be playing more War of the East in the future as well, so I hope you guys are looking forward to that. I believe next week I will be streaming Combat Mission Shock Force, which I'm looking forward to. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Do let me know if you've actually enjoyed it with like the little excerpts from books. I might try and find more books about the subject that we're looking upon, really, and just, I don't know, add a little bit of an education element there. Apologies about the pronunciation, but not a native speaker. Not particularly well bred in German. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you have enjoyed this, please do go ahead and subscribe to Sliverin here. And you can find me also on Twitch at XTRG and YouTube at XTRG. We'd appreciate a follow and subscription over there. Until next time, thank you and goodbye. Have a beautiful evening. I see you on the side.